trouble here. This is the game between Revolt Gentlemen and Dignitas UK here. So, we are, as I mentioned, we are well underway already. And Metas, what's going on right now?
Yeah, we are live into the game, Spud. Fingers crossed it will stay that way. Apparently it was some Twitch issues, so we will inform you, we will update you if we have any issues that we need to resolve here on our end. But we are fortunate enough that First Blood did not go down. The lane switch-ups, however, have gone down. So Caitlyn, Thresh at top lane from Revolt Gentlemen are going to be facing off against Nitrix on Jace. So he's going to be forced back. Meanwhile, Jarvan's actually coming into mid here, so they're going to try and put some pressure on to Cook My Sock. He has been stunned and flagon dragged as well. Shield comes down. Is he going to be able to survive this? Barrier's been popped. The flash from Jarvan and the flash from Orianna, so she will just about escape the skin of her teeth, but that is definitely a successful gank. Both summoners pop from Jarvan.
Yeah, and that's also interesting in that Cook My Sock is definitely running barrier, so fearing that full burst combo from Xerath mid. As I mentioned in Champions Select, don't know if it was actually broadcasted, but Xerath has among the highest bursts of any single champion in the entire game, even on a single target, even though many of his abilities are multi-target. So his damage is really scary. Plus he has, what, 40% magic pen, so that's better than a Void Staff for free on his W. It's a very, very potent combination. Does have some issues though, does root himself, is a little bit clunky mechanically to use, and that does mean that he's a very high skill champion, but in this kind of challenger tier play, that's unlikely to be nearly so much of an issue, and I do fear for Cook My Sock's life if that barrier doesn't come up before Xerath hits 6.
Yeah, and Jarvan, although he's at bot lane right now, Nightmare could try and make some plays in mid again. Orianna coming around from the sides. They're actually going to steal away Wraiths while they know that Jarvan's at bot, which is smart play. They realise they're not going to get caught with their pants down, and therefore are going to try and bring back some of that CS differential and XP differential that Orianna missed while going back to the spawn. Snow did the same, has picked up himself a Doran's ring. And it's quite interesting that Jarvan's been at bot lane for so long, but that's purely on the basis that Nami and Varus can just harass Tofu so much that he definitely needs someone to stand by him. Pings in mid again, but doesn't look like a great deal's going to happen. But just mentioning the Xerath pick, as you said before, he's like a long-range artillery, and I really like the pickup of Hecarim, because he's going to be able to dive onto Xerath, past the front lines, and really take him down in those team fight, periods of time.
Yeah, it's worth noting, however, something a little bit odd must have happened while we were not live, because I'm noticing that right now Caitlyn Thresh, which is normally a famous lane for just being able to push really, really hard, and actually Nitrix did get hooked there at top lane, did not end up getting caught. Famous for pushing really, really hard, are actually falling behind a little bit on that that tower pushing race which is currently going on between the two lanes. I do have to wonder, was there maybe an early gank that we did not miss, did not get any kills, forced him away? And we are actually now seeing Rippy getting hooked in, has flayed back, but should be okay to get out of there. Bonaparte still putting down the poke though, and now both Rippy and Nitrix are very, very low. Next wave might well get this tower.
Yeah, we did mention in the Champion Select as well. Again, not entirely sure if you guys caught that one at home, but Rippy is substituting in for Impaler, who is going through an exam period right now. So, obviously, Impaler is one of their shot callers. He's the jungler as well. Whenever his smite is off cooldown, he's going to be making calls. I am quite curious how that's going to affect their team play, but Rippy, thus far, seems to be doing a pretty damn good job trying to keep his tower alive. Has been caught again on top of the trap as well. It's going to be lots of burst damage on him. Will pull himself back with a quarter HP. But again, nice play. Orianna, in the meantime, though, as you're mentioning, that burst damage coming out from Xerath has gone dangerously low, just stinging up to 6, so Snow needs to be careful.
Yeah, and Cook My Sock does still have his own ultimate available, so got that barrier, he's not too worried now. If he can just manage to get enough health that Xerath can't burst him down, he no longer really has anything to fear in the immediate term. But this top tower is going to drop. SunnyX taking that out very cleanly indeed, and that bottom tower is still standing. Jace was trying to rotate back in with that tier, but Rippy took a little bit too much damage, was not able to keep the tower up for long enough. We are now seeing just backing off in this top lane, which I suspect will in turn lead to the push in bottom lane. Smokey Lemon and Yero basically need to take this on either the next wave or the wave after, or they're going to have to deal with Caitlyn and Thresh without that tower advantage on their team, and that could be really quite bad for them. They are, in fact, not going to be able to do it, though, I suspect. Caitlyn heading forwards does have that Doran's Blade and the BF Sword, and it does, I think, seem as though Dignitas UK are not going to win this tower pushing race.
Yeah, especially when iNightmare has his Cataclysm now as well, just got himself to 6, so it's going to be much more difficult to lock this one down. Tofu as well is standing tall and proud. Here comes Caitlyn from the side. They're going to try and make a play happen with Caitlyn coming in. The prison has landed Caitlyn from the back as well. iNightmare is trying his best to get in close contention, but I feel he might just be a few mana off his Cataclysm, and in doing so is actually being popped down very aggressively. It's a 4 versus 2 and very narrowly picks up the kill on iNightmare from the piercing arrow, but not quite going to be the case. However, you've got to say they've done their job because the tower simply hasn't fallen.
Yeah, just was not going to go down. They couldn't... I don't know if it was necessary for Revolt Gentlemen to get so aggressive there, but what they did do was force the bot lane from Dig UK out. And that in turn is going to mean they can just push out this tower themselves, do a fair bit of damage to this before Smokey Lemon and Yarostar can get back to that bot lane. That could cause some serious issues. We will be seeing Jace putting down a little bit of damage on this top tower in the meantime. He has probably got a little bit of an advantage at the moment though. CS 56 to 35. You know, that's a kill's worth of gold, and that's going to give him that significant advantage. We do now see that bottom tower falling really low, though. I'm not sure they're going to be able to hold this up before Smokey Lemon gets back. One more wave to the tower, and we might see this bottom one fall as well.
Yeah, and it's important to remember that this is a best-of-1 format, guys. So if Dignitas UK do go on to lose this game, we know it's still very, very much early days, or indeed if Revolt's Gentlemen do, they are down and out. There is no coming back from this. It's not a best-of-3 format or anything like it. And now Revolt are actually just going to be like, okay, we've put pressure on the tower, we have the top tower down, let's try and give this 4-man Drake a shot. There is a ward down here from the side. The piercing arrow flies in. It's not going to be enough to steal that. Jarvan smites it away, and they will pull themselves back. So that's a 2-for-0 lead on global objectives. Bonaparte was having a Hecarim breathing down his neck, but he is going to be able to get away with the flight.
Yeah, it does seem though Revolt Gentlemen are currently the ones in control of this game. They've got this pushing advantage down. They're starting to really secure objectives, but there's only a 1,000 gold difference between the two teams, so significant proportion of that is being made up by the difference in the top lanes, 72 CS to 50. But the mid lane, a little bit of an advantage for Revolt Gentlemen. It just seems at the moment though that Dig UK are actually out farming their opponents on the whole. Could well transition pretty well, because if they can manage to start building up this advantage, they do have a very strong late game team, and I do feel they may, if they can hold on, they may have a pretty good chance of this. We do have Rippy, though, coming in on mid lane. Onslaught of Shadows go down. We've got the Shockwave. The ball snapped back to Cook My Sock, and it Shockwaved himself. That is the classic Orianna error. We've actually got the counter fight there from Snow. Not able to get that kill, but a lot of damage. He's still got one Arcane Barrage charge. Not going to use it, though. He's just come back off.
Yeah, that's not just his ego bruised, though. That is Onslaught of Shadows and Shockwave down. Two big ultimates from Dignitas UK are not going to be able to be used for the next 100 to 130 seconds or so. So, it's one of those kind of scary situations now where they've popped two big ultimates to pick themselves up a kill on Xerath, and he's just stood there laughing and just pouring salt in the wound. Snow's by and large got full health and a blue buff, so his mana's going to be coming up very quick. So he's actually forced Orianna back to spawn. That was a pretty big deal in mid.
Bottom lane, though, we do actually have some action coming down. Yera did get hooked. We've got Shen ulting in on top of Bonaparte. Bonaparte going to be trying to take him out. We do have the taunt on Smokey Lemon. This is probably going to be the double kill here. Well, the 2 kills in the favor of Revolt Gentlemen. They definitely coming out very, very strong right now. They should be able to take this bottom tower off the back of that.
Yeah, just a slight bit of consolation that I guess, Thresh got the double kill, but still the damage has been done, because it's a lot of gold in, kills and assists, CS, XP, and a tower. So it's just getting a bit worse here for Dignitas UK. As you said, though, they're farming-wise doing a pretty good job, because they're not that far behind on gold. But here comes Jarvan from the side. Cook My Sock is in a lot of problems. He has already burnt the flash, but there's the Cataclysm, and that's going to be the 3rd kill consecutively to Revolt's Gentlemen. They are looking like they're on fire.
Yeah, they are. I mean, you could. That's the power of Xerath in this little mid lane right now. You by the time Orianna could possibly have known that gank was coming in, short of spotting out Jarvan ahead of time, that was the possibility. But by the time she knew Jarvan was coming in, I mean, Xerath didn't have to move from the normal kind of laning position. He was already in range for all of his combo, and that Jarvan setup just meant none of it was going to miss. And he had all the damage necessary to bring her down all but instantly. Scary situation. We do see Nitrix in this top lane, probably going to go down here. Has been ignited, does get the tower though, so he would be too upset if he does die. It does say WTF though, so not entirely sure what happened there. Presumably creep block.
Yeah, he got blocked. It was like he was doing a dance. He just wasn't making sure of anything. But we do actually have a double ultimate in mid. That's going to be Onslaught of Shadows and Shockwave again. Cook my sock, though, is getting burnt down so quickly. That's from full to below half. Ace in the hole as well. Will not pick up the kill, but force Orianna back and make her think twice. Again, that double ultimate has been used, this time both of them landing on Sunny XX. But yeah, it was a strange one at top lane. Bot lane tower has just fallen, so that's a 2 for 2 on towers between the two teams. But yeah, it was weird. It's like he went backwards and forwards about 5 or 6 times, and then decided, okay, screw this, I'm not managing to escape, so I'm just going to pick up the tower instead at the cost of his own life. But yeah, definitely a head scratcher for Nitrix there.
Yeah, it does sometimes happen where you just kind of... The minions just go into wall formation. There's nothing you can do about it. You just get blocked in. And 1 or 2 extra tower shots can be huge, which is probably about what he took in terms of extra damage. And he couldn't get away, and he did get bullied out by that Shen. And he's now taking a bit of damage from Shen in turn there. Shen very, very beefy at this moment. Ninja Tabby and has got the components for that Sunfire Cape. We will see Nitrix, though, continuing to play the wave clear game. He will have a pretty good chance of holding his tower up against Shen. But Stand United will be coming off cooldown soon, and I wouldn't be surprised to see Revolt Gentlemen look to start making plays.
Indeed, they are already starting to congregate around the area, and even though Nitrix has the Brutalizer, so he's got plus 10 armor pen and the plus 25 attack damage, he's still doing very little to Shen, who's just finished off his Sunfire Cape. So Tofu is going to be very, very difficult for Jace to pop down in a heartbeat. And of course, with Stand United off cooldown and Nitrix not having teleport, that is going to signify a much higher chance of Revolt Gentlemen picking up the Drake, because of course they can suddenly just go down to Drake, Shen ultimates on top of them, and it's going to be a 5 versus 4 unless Nitrix gets a skate on. So again, watch for that fight when it does come up.
And actually in mid we do see the ultimate coming in from Snow. Yarrow going very low, but did dodge the Q. That will mean that cooldown is now on cooldown, which is going to be a sure small blessing. He did get the shield put on him, did not go in with the Onslaught of Shadows, did not go in with the Shockwave. Actually, he did not have his Onslaught of Shadows until about 2 seconds after I said he didn't use it. So not too surprising after all. But we will see now the rotation looking more towards this bottom lane, potentially. They're definitely looking for this opportunity to use that wombo combo if they can get it off. But in the meantime, we are seeing Shen pushing out that top lane. Yarrow is low. Arcane Barrage is on cooldown. This could be bad if it goes ahead. We will see Nightmare now moving towards them. Rippy tanking this up. Is going to be getting that shield on him. Hook goes down on Nitrix. Nitrix now in a lot of trouble. We've got the Shen ultimate on Jarvan. Ace in the hole comes across, the same as Onslaught of Shadows. Tidal Wave 2. Smoky Lemon now in a lot of trouble. Shen is on him. Cook my sock. Going to be trying to kite this out. Going to be getting the Arcane Barrage on him. It's off cooldown after all. Cook my sock very, very low. Jarvan does get picked up. We now see Cook my sock continuing to kite. Puts down the Shockwave on 1. Snow going to be taking him out with an auto attack. Rippy now running. He is going to be the last man standing for his team, and it does look like he's going to be in a lot of trouble here. Will manage to get out though.
Yeah, and that's a 4 for 1 exchange. Could be a 5 for 1, although I'm assuming that Rippy will escape. But that's in favor. In fact, will he escape? Because the flash comes down, and Rippy is ticking down from the Ignite, so will be falling. Nice play coming out from Tofu. And a Drake. So it was a belated ace for 1 death, and a Drake on top of it. Revolt Gentlemen are just playing so well, and I've got to say that Nightmare played a beautiful Cataclysm. Seeing the Tidal Wave come in, he Cataclysmed on top of it, which stopped him from getting knocked back, and that locked everybody down while Stand Unite was used on top of him from Shen. Afterwards, they taunted 3 or 4 players and just got the ball rolling from there, and suddenly an explosion of difference in gold, about, what's that, 5.6k in favor of Revolt Gentlemen at just 17 minutes through. You can add another K on on that as the third tower does fall as well.
Yeah, that's a very, very scary difference. And that's going to probably start this snowball going for Revolt Gentlemen. If they can just keep this going, they are going to have huge advantages. And they have that Shen, so we can expect to see the split push coming in. And it was in fact that split push which triggered that bad dragon fight for Dignitas UK. They really, really wanted to try and contest that dragon. They knew if they just sent, you know, Jace up to that top lane, then Revolt Gentlemen would force the dragon themselves. Be a 5-on-4 situation, Dig UK would have to let it go. That'd be starting to get to the goal point, which we're actually now at, where Revolt Gentlemen would start to have a really big advantage. That in turn meant they had to force it. They wanted to take it, but when they went for it, it went actually fairly badly wrong. And we do see Nitrix potentially in a little bit of trouble here, but no, actually, he's apparently okay.
There's a fight kicking off right now as Rippy's actually going dangerously low. Ace in the hole comes out, has been blocked, but it's not going to be enough damage. Not enough tank, I should say, and he will fall regardless. So 1-for-0 trade thus far. Xerath is putting down some serious pain. Already has a Rabadon's death cap to his name. Meanwhile, Cataclysm lands on Smoky Lemon. He gets popped in a heartbeat. Now focusing Nitrix, who's trying his best to escape. A box has been put down. Double kill for Caitlyn. That is already a 3-for-0 exchange with what looks like a very comfortable fourth tower. And it's just gone from bad to worse for Dignitas UK. We are sub 20 minutes and they are already starting to back down the front door of this middle inhibitor. And they could very well pick up this tower with 10-second and 15-second death chambers from two of their carries. They're trying their best to bring this one back with a tower down in a 3 versus 5. They do not fancy their chances. And that is a mid-inhib exposed, bud. Not looking good for Dignitas.
No, that is a disaster at this stage, increasing the goal total even more. And now it's Dignitas going to be trying to make a counter push, but I doubt they're going to be able to do that. There's Caitlyn and Xerath sitting in that mid lane who can probably hold off the push from all 5 of them. They have the wave clear to do it, and they have the range to do it safely. It's just going to be, yeah, there we go. Piltover and the Xerath Q just pretty much gives the wave out and out from beyond the range of retaliation for Dignitas UK. And yeah, Dignitas UK are now kind of just waiting to get into a worse position. They have to try somehow to counter the push on their inhib, and I'm not sure they're going to be able to do it. The only kind of tool they have in their arsenal, I mean, they've got some poke out of Jace, but it's not going to match up to Caitlyn. It's not going to match up to Xerath. So they really have to go for that hard engage. But if they do that, they are just risking the counter from their opponents, and if they pile in like that, they're gonna get that Xerath ultimate right on top of all of them. Huge damage coming out from him. He's got a Rabadon, he's got a Morella Nomicon. He's a very, very scary threat to deal with, and I just don't know if they can do anything if Revolt Gentlemen go for it.
Yeah, and you've got to say that the lineup here, the composition coming out from Revolt's Gentlemen is just tailor fit for Snow Xerath, because Cataclysm, Taunt, Box on top of that is so much CC. You're not going to be able to get anywhere near him when he's just at long range popping you down with his ultimate and stuns galore. So yes, they have a Hecarim, which I like the pickup, but Hecarim has not managed to really have a massive influence on this game. And of course, if you're in a team fight, speaking of Xerath, Cook My Sock gets completely crippled in mid. Is forced to back away. Here comes Rippy from the side though. Onslaught of Showers has landed, but Nightmares from the backside. Flag and Drag will not land, however the stun and Cataclysm will. Rippy is in a lot of danger right now. Smoky Lemon from the backside. Chain of Corruptions has actually whiffed. So many ultimates being dropped down, but as a result, you got to say, Revolt's Gentlemen probably coming out on top. They're happy with any trade right now because they're still ahead. They're still pushing lanes. And look at Shen. He's going for that 6th tower at bot. So any equal trades where no one falls, I've got to say, is pretty much good news for Revolt's Gentlemen.
Yeah, we do now see a potential Baron attempt here. They're jumping over the wall. They've got the pink ward in the pit, and Caitlyn is damaging over the wall. Shen He's going to be in this bottom lane, just going to be happy to back off. I think this Baron is going to go without anyone knowing. Snow will be in this mid lane, and it does look like this Baron is just going to drop fairly quickly. We do see Revolt Gentlemen's tank team here going a little bit low, but reminiscent of the Korean All-Stars, they are going to pick that up. And we do also see Smoky Lemon there getting destroyed. And in bottom lane now, Nitrix getting taunted. He's going to have to try and back out of this, but Tofu is so tanky, putting out a lot of damage, and that was weird. But Nitrix does get away with his life. I don't know what happened there.
I caught the back. Was that a thundering blow while taunting?
I think what happened was he used that knockback while Shen was actually flashing, and the flash kind of got counteracted and he got pulled all the way back in. I think. I'm not 100% certain on that. But still, it does seem like Dig UK are in a very bad situation right now. Nitrix trying to hold that bottom tower. Does have that shot blast, does have pretty good wave clear, but now they're up against a Baron buff. Now they're up against an over 10k gold difference. You got to say, best of one, they're probably out right now.
Yeah, if we go purely on stats and, finances, it's definitely looking like there's a steep hill to climb, especially against Baron. Then of course, I look at Caitlyn's build, it catches my eye. There is a massive discrepancy between Caitlyn and Varus on raw damage output right now. You've got a Last Whisper, Infinity Edge, and Zeal up against a Bloodthirster and Pickaxe. So Caitlyn is going to be ripping through Varus and indeed the rest of the team. Then you've got Xerath on top of it that's going to be just putting down a hail of storm and fire and brimstone, and it's just not looking happy days for Dignitas. They're going to have to turtle in, you have to feel, for the next 5 to 10 minutes, but in doing so they're going to lose all of their jungle, all of the buffs, all of the Drakes, all of the Barons. So it's that, tightrope, that balancing act. When do you strike? When do you feel you're strong enough to go in? Is it a case they're going to try and pick somebody off? Because I've got to say, they don't necessarily have a great composition to do so. Yes, you can get the Shockwave Onslaught of Shadows ulti duo going down, but it's not enough to pop anybody out yet. There's not enough damage coming out. Athene's and Holy Grail and Orianna simply doesn't cut it.
Yeah, you kind of wonder whether that's going to work out for them in the long run. If they can even hold on. It does seem like that hook was going a little bit awry there, but we look at this is going to be the thing now. We're going to see Revolt Gentlemen trying to avoid being poked by Jace, while simultaneously poking down that inhib. It does look like they might go for this, though. We have got the shield on Rippy. Cooldown will be up shortly. Shock Blast hits there on Caitlyn. It's probably the one they want to go for if they can. We will be seeing soon this potential push. We also see the trap line being built up there by Caitlyn, Shen, split pushing. I feel like Dig UK have to go for this, even though the odds of them winning are so slim. I just don't know, though. It does seem like they are getting a little bit more poke down there, but this top tower is now being forced out. It will be... Can they go for this? We are seeing Snow putting down a little bit of damage. Does seem, though, that Dig UK are just caught in a really, really unfortunate situation right now.
Yeah, definitely stuck between a rock and a hard place. And the thing is, you mentioned previously that yes, they got a lot of poke onto Caitlyn, but when you consider that they got Baron already back up to full HP, so they're not, capitalizing and jumping on top of that for completely understandable reasons. They're against the Baroned up team that are 12 kills ahead of them and a lot of global advantages too. Death Sentence comes out just narrowly missing, but with Caitlyn's damage and range, going to be able to poke down the inhibitor very, very quickly. Already below half HP. They're going in for seconds right now, and they are going to get this for completely free. Dignitas, smart move not going in, because I feel if they did, that would have probably been the GG.
Yeah, that was kind of their only option, but it's an option that's led to them being in another situation where they have no real good options. Cook my sock, taking the burst over the wall, barrier pop, but it's not enough. Wow, that is some serious burst coming out over the wall, and nothing he could really do about that once he was stunned. He used the barrier, but it just wasn't enough. And we are now seeing Revolt Gentlemen going actually in for this. They have got that poke still. They've got nothing to fear from Dig UK. They've got the hook down on Rippy. Rippy now in a lot of trouble. Is going to get hit by that. Xerath does get picked up. We do see Nitrix going in. He gets bursted so fast. Stand United on Sunny X. Sunny X going to be actually tanking quite a lot of tower shots there for no particular reason. But it does look like the GG is coming out. Dig UK could be just surrendering here, or maybe they're just going to let it happen.
I'm not too sure what is going to happen, but Yarrow has called the GG as you mentioned. They picked up the second inhib, now pulling themselves out of dodge and recalling. So Dignitas UK have lost a lot of their base, but they are still in the game. Having said that, Nitrix has been completely crushed from Snow. Again, this long-range snipe coming out from across the wall. Interestingly enough, surrender vote fails for blue team, which is Dignitas UK, for a 2-3 vote. So strangely enough, 3 of the players want to keep in this one. They want to keep playing. We have seen comebacks from these kind of situations before, Spuddington, but you got to say that Revolt's Gentlemen, they have looked so amazingly strong from pretty much the get-go. They've not let off. They won the lane switch up. They rinsed and repeated, picked up 2-3 very quick towers and the Drakes on top of it, and just steamrolled this advantage into a win, you have to say. They're not won just yet, but it's looking like, for all intents and purposes, this is going to be the W for them.
Yeah, we are seeing a little bit of banter coming out, so it may have been they just want to play it out for fun, but we'll see. My sock can be moving around that jungle there. We'll be getting the wards out now from Bonaparte. We'll be putting just a little bit of vision out, putting it out for some safety there, but not really too concerned about being caught anyway. He does have that Shirelia, so able to capitalize on any mistakes. Has the Riverside Stone. He's fairly tanky actually, 80 souls, but now we are just seeing once again Xerath kind of hiding around. We did see Shushe doing much the same thing, just suddenly from nowhere he would just delete someone, and that seems to be the playstyle that really works for Xerath. We do see now the final inhib and the final inhib defense. I don't know if they can hold this though.
Yeah, the Arcano Pulse and also his ult is going to do so much damage from far, ult of course being the Arcane Barrage, so if he lands the two in conjunction with one another alongside Mega Chains, it's pretty much just an insta-kill. As we saw on Orianna and also Varus previously, they're going to make an engage. This is pretty much the last chance to learn. They've landed the tidal wave and the ulti from Hecarim on a few players, but they've just been completely decimated. Sunny X full HP, Snow full HP as well. Cook My Sock goes down as a 3-for-0 trade. Double kill from Caitlyn, third inhib falling, and that is going to be the good game, with Revolt Gentlemen Esports Club taking the matchup and going into the final 16 of the CyberGamer Cup here. Beautiful play from them, going to finish it off at 19-for-1.
Yeah, I mean, they rock this game. And you got to wonder whether some of that is due to Dig UK lacking their normal jungler. It's going to be a pretty big, factor. And it's definitely true that they snowballed very early on as well. Could be that Revolt Gentlemen are a really solid team themselves. They bear watching at this point, but I'm not willing to say that they are definitely my favorites for this tournament yet. They are still a very solid contender. But yeah, we will be moving into a quick break. We should have another best of one coming up in just a second, so we'll see you after this.